Live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television, here we present to you 7 o'clock news bulletin. First, the headlines. The Omani-Russian Business Forum discusses in Muscat the investment opportunities and exchange of expertise between the two countries. Work continues on the main transformer station in Ibri, and its operation is expected to start by the end of the year. The National Comprehensive Survey for Transport starts in the Sultanate for building an integrated transport model. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Omani-Russian Business Forum discusses in Muscat promoting the commercial and investment exchange between the two countries, acquainting with investment opportunities in different economic sectors and highlighting investment potentials in the special economic zone at Duqm and Sohar Industrial Estate. 40 major Russian corporates have offered a host of investment prospects to Omani investors in the fields of industries, trade, logistics and advanced technology that could benefit the two countries in terms of creating economic and trade partnership. Bilateral meetings have been held to introduce Russian companies willing to establish joint projects with Omani businessmen. The volume of trade and investment exchange between Russia and Oman reached more than 44 million Omani rials, and that what the forum seeks to increase through investments and building up relations between business and Omani and Russian investors in trade, constructions, oil and gas, logistic, real estates, in addition to animal products, food and chemical industries, arts and archaeological artifacts and gemstones. And an emphasis on the strong bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Pakistan. The sixth session of political consultations between the two countries were held at the General Diwan of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The two sides highlighted the bilateral relations and ways of promoting them to serve joint interests between the two friendly countries. The Omani side was presided over by His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Mohammed bin Awad Al Hassan, charged the affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Diplomatic Affairs, whereas the Pakistani side was chaired by Her Excellency Ambassador Tehmina Jangwa, Under Secretary of Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and her delegation. At a cost worth 66 million Omani rials, the construction work of Ibri Transformer Station continues. The project is integrated with another station for electricity production still under construction, and both of them will cover the increased demand on electricity in various urban and economic projects. The main Ibri Transformer Station will have the capacity of 400 kilovolt by the completion of the project, which is expected to be finished by the end of the current year. It also includes systems for control and communications to send and receive information, in addition to overhead power lines, with a total cost of 42 million Omani rials, covering a distance of 260 kilometers between Ibri and Izki stations. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry explains that what had been circulated through the social media on the privatization of major government hospitals was not understood in the proper context. The ministry confirmed in a statement that the major government hospitals will continue to be run by the government. The ministry further stressed that the intention is not to manage the existing main hospitals as some have circulated, but new offers will be provided by private companies to design and build a number of new hospitals, which will be under the government regulation and with long-term financing by executing companies. Oman Refineries and Petroleum Industries Company ORPIC clarified that the maintenance of Al Fahal refinery will not affect the supply of fuels for consumers. The ORPIC reassured the consumers that providing the market's needs of fuel products will be fulfilled. The maintenance works of the refinery will continue until the 16th of November. The initial evaluation committee for competing works in the competition of Sultan Qaboos Award for Crafts Excellence in its fifth round visited a number of Sultan's governorates to evaluate crafts products and projects which will be participated in the contest. The committee during its visit reviewed all aspects of the projects and measured their quality, efficiency and meeting standards of the main committee of competition. The committee also evaluated the products and projects to be completed to see whether all conditions are met as per the specified checklist, taking into consideration the aspects of development and innovation in addition to deploy raw materials from Omani environment in the production, contribution and transfer the craft to future Omani generation. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. A serene nature reserve in the Wilaya of Qurayat includes around 400 types of plants. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Iraqi President Fuad Mahzoum and the Iraqi Kurdish President Masoud Barzani met in Sulaymaniyah today to discuss the recent military standoff between their forces in the disputed city of Kirkuk. Purported the Iraqi deadline for Kurdish forces to withdraw from their positions at the edge of the city by this morning came and went, with Kurdish officials saying it has been extended by a day. Oil-rich Kirkuk is claimed by both governments, but it has been under Kurdish control since 2014, when the Iraqi army fled advancing Daesh group militants. The two sides have been at loggerheads since the Kurds voted overwhelmingly for independence in a September 25th referendum that Baghdad sees as illegal. The death toll from the most powerful bomb blast witnessed in Somalia's capital rose to 231 as hospitals struggled to cope with a high number of casualties. Security and medical sources said more than 200 others were injured. Somalia's government had yet to release the exact death toll from the truck bomb that targeted a busy street near key ministries. Officials feared the toll would continue to climb. President Mohammed Abdullahi Mohammed declared 3 days of mourning and joined thousands of people who responded to a desperate plea by hospitals to donate blood for the wounded victims. A police official said many victims died at hospitals from their wounds. Now to Syria. Syrian government media reported the capture of Mayadin town in East Syria after intense fighting with the Daesh group. The capture of Mayadin, a Daesh stronghold in the country's east, is considered as a major gain in the race for territories previously held by the militant group. Over the past months, Mayadin had become a refugee for the militant leadership from Syria and Iraq. Yesterday, the Syrian army and its allied forces fiercely fought with the militants near Mayadin town, where rockets, launchers, tanks, artillery and jets were used in the battle. The town on the western bank of the Euphrates River was also a major node in the race for the control of the oil-rich eastern Deir ez-Zor province that straddles the borders with Iraq. As the Syrian government launched its Deir ez-Zor offensive in September, the US-backed forces diverted some fighters from Raqqa towards Deir ez-Zor to secure the Iraqi border. This prompted the government troops to push south to Mayadin, finally securing the town yesterday. The people of Pakistan, Kashmir, are sitting on a treasure chest. Millions of rupees, estimated to be worth up to $500 million, are lying beneath them. But archaic tools and lack of investments in infrastructure and techniques are hampering efforts to transform the area into a significant player in the gem industry. Here is a full report about that.
The mountains of Pakistani Kashmir, rich in beauty and buried treasures. There are rubies worth an estimated $500 million in the Himalayan region. But a lack of funds and outdated techniques are hampering mining here.
अब छोटे ब्लास्ट जो है ना उसके ज़रिए करते हैं इसकी वजह से 40 to 50% जो है हमारा लॉस हो जाता है वो उसमें से हमने
Mining is done by small blasts and we lose 40 to 50% of the value of the stones.
उस तरह से इन्वेस्टमेंट हमारे पास अवेलेबल नहीं है कॉर्पोरेशन के पास कि हम
And secondly, due to a lack of investment in our corporation, we're not making the most of our resources.
हम पूरे तरीके से जो हमारा ये खजाना ये ट्रेजर है उसमें से हम पूरे तरीके से फ़ायदा हासिल नहीं कर सकते.
Just one mine and an exploration site are operational in Kashmir. It's hard labor at more than 3,500 meters above sea level. But for these miners, it's valued work.
I've been working in this mine for the past 4 years. For the first 2 years, I worked here as an intern, and after that I got a job. We work here 4 months a year. I've earned enough money to lead a good life.
The rubies are sold in their raw form at a highly regulated annual auction. Many change hands informally too. Last year, a government training center was launched to develop the trade.
We are providing training and assistance to these people about mining and gemstone development. God willing, soon all of them will be able to extract precious stones by themselves. With the availability of a skilled workforce in this field, Kashmir will shortly become an international hub of gemstones.
The stones are said to account less than 1% of the region's tax revenue. But hopes are high that these rubies will one day help Kashmir sparkle in the international gem industry.
And now back to some more local news. Aiming to create long-term plan for directing and regulating forms of urban growth in the coming stage, the National Comprehensive Survey for Transport started today in various governorates of the Sultanate within the project of National Strategy for Urban Development, which supervised by the Secretariat General of the Supreme Council of Planning. The procedure of comprehensive survey for transport at national level and government level came to design and put planning tools and information program for building integrated transport model. The team of the project stressed the necessity of citizens and residents' participation in the mentioned surveys in order to achieve the desired results. Oman Convention and Exhibition Center is getting ready to receive World Tourism Conference and International Aviation Conference. The center, after a year of its opening in October 2016, hosted 100 international and local events and attracted more than 500,000 visitors. Through the past 12 months, Oman Convention and Exhibition Center contributed positively in activating the commercial, economic, scientific and a literary movement in the Sultanate. The two big international events are expected to attract 65 ministries from various world countries representing in the fields of tourism and aviation. The last package of the construction works of Oman Exhibition and Exhibition Center will be finished in December and will include 2 theaters, 20 meeting halls and 5-star hotels. The Ministry of Health organized a workshop in Muscat on the strategies of dealing with children with autism. The workshop targeted parents of autistic children and psychologists working in the health establishments. A number of specialists from a leading institute in psychology from Boston, USA will participate in the event, which aims at raising awareness about the strategies used in educating and qualifying children with autism in addition to improving their behaviors. The workshop revealed that around 1,600 cases of autism were diagnosed in Sultan Qaboos University and Al Masara Hospital. It also revealed that the prevalent ratio of diagnosed autism is 1 out of 68 persons in the Sultanate. Office of Conservation of the Environment affiliated to the Diwan of the Royal Court revealed that Al Serene Nature Reserve includes around 400 types of plants. A Serene Nature Reserve is considered a safe haven for a number of birds, wild animals and reptiles. It's worth mentioning that acacia tree, which is locally known as summer, spreads widely in the reserve as the large majorities of wild animals eat leaves from it. The office seeks to preserve components of nature reserves through establishing 5 centers for monitoring wildlife, in addition to installing tracking devices to locate the Arabian ibex and other types of animals. The main index of Muscat Securities Market MSM gained 10 points, closing at 5,138 points, with the trading value exceeding 2 million Omani Riyals, and the number of circulated shares reached more than 18 million. It's worth mentioning that the global oil prices started to rise again, with positive news regarding the possibility to extend the agreement of decreasing production until March 2018. During this period, the financial sector influenced by market positively as a result of some companies enlisted in MSM are yet to be revealed. His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Saud Al Bimani, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University, received His Excellency Peter Pellegrini, Deputy Prime Minister of Investments in Slovakia. During the meeting, they discussed aspects of joint cooperation in the fields related to science and research between the Sultanate and Slovakia. His Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of Investment in Slovakia, also visited the main library and Omani Studies Center and got acquainted with their services and sections. In order to activate the social partnership and in pursuit of higher water, to highlight the company's efforts in implementing and managing sewage projects, the company inaugurated a mobile educational unit in the Governorate of Dakhliya. The unit which started from the wilaya of Bid will be roaming the wilayas of the governorates according to a scheduled program and will work to attract various segments of the society. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances for low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of South Sharqiya, Al-Wusta and Dhofar. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television, and before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Omani-Russian Business Forum discusses in Muscat the investment opportunities and exchange of expertise between the two countries. Work continues on the main transformer station in Ibri, and its operation is expected to start by the end of the year. The National Comprehensive Survey for Transport starts in the Sultanate for building an integrated transport model. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. Thank you for joining us and good night.